So, I'm going to talk about the 9-point marketing plan as the strategy for someone who has a solo business. So if you're a freelancer, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a founder that doesn't yet have a team, if you're a owner operator of a local service business, and your team is shallow, you maybe have one or two teammates, that are the laborers, workers, but you're the team lead, you're the supervisor, you're the project manager, you're all of the hats working the projects, and you're running all the business structures. So when you're in that role, someone that has an MBA is going to tell you a business plan requires all these things. A marketing plan requires all these things. And what's going to end up happening, what often ends up happening, it's interesting that too often people who are in this kind of space in their business world, they're given a couple of tactics and people say, do this, do that. This is how I got this is how I got where I am. Just follow my model and you'll be fine. And that's all well and good if you're trying to follow that person's model. More significantly, it puts you in a place where you're doing tasks and you don't know why you're doing them. And so when they don't work the way you expect, you don't know which parts are essential to the strategy that you're implementing and which ones are just the techniques, the tasks, the skills. So, there we go. The point is, most of the people who are in the GHL Business Launch kind of circle don't have a technical problem. You don't have don't know how to do it problem. You actually have I have too much information problem. You are smart. You know how to do things. You're probably young and energetic and motivated. You probably have a really good idea of the things that you should be doing. The problem is you have a thinking problem. You have you don't even know it. You have I'm just doing this thing because this is what I was told to do situation, and so the tools are doing the thing that the tool is designed to do. The problem is you don't know why you're using the tool that you're using. There was no decision process in what path you were going to follow. The funnels that you were presented and told, hey, do this, didn't fail. The funnels do what they do. Are they the right funnel for you? I see a lot in the people revolving around high levels of software of people quoting AI generated statements, guidance, instructions, and sometimes it's actually correct in what it's saying. The problem is, if you don't know why it's correct, you don't know when it's not correct, and you don't know when the situation, the problem that you're actually trying to solve requires or could be done, either requires a different approach or could be done differently, because you only know what ChatGPT is telling you at that point. You might have the most amazing well-trained AI support specialist. And it might know how to do the thing, but if you're telling it to do the wrong thing, the outcome that you're getting is not getting you the result you're expecting. The point is, too many of us have skipped the thinking part. We think we're convinced. We think that we need to start taking action, and so we take the first script that comes along, and we start blasting it out, trying to find somebody who will pay attention. What I'm talking about today is not a tutorial on how to use high level, and it's also not a tutorial on how to use AI. But it is an intentional framework about how, as a business owner, you should frame your thinking before you start touching the tools, so that when you touch the tools, you're using the tools to serve you instead of being a slave to the tools. You don't have a tech problem, you have a thinking problem. And if what I'm saying feels uncomfortable, then that is the point that I'm trying to make. I have communicated effectively the concern that I'm trying to express. I expect this to be a little bit uncomfortable. So, when you see my slide, and maybe I'll try to display it here in the recording version, I've got the 9-point marketing plan. Why tools feel powerful, but they don't create the results that you expect. The 9-point marketing plan has three buckets. Before, there we go. Nope, that way. Nope, that way. There we go. Before, during, and after. Before is the strategy part. The strategy is how you think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. But first bucket, points 1, 2, and 3, are the strategy. They're thinking about what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. And AI can help you work through the thought process. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Points 4, 5, and 6 are the execution, implementation of the marketing strategy, of the marketing plan. They are lead capture, lead nurture, and the sales process, or lead close. Capture, nurture, close. They are, once you've identified in your strategy who your target market is, in your implementation, in your execution of the marketing plan, lead capture is engaging with individuals who then in some form or fashion raise a hand and opt in and say, let's have this conversation. I want to be part of this conversation. And then the after in the marketing plan, but it's still part of the marketing plan. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Edward Deming is actually, I'm going to go ahead and look it up. Who said to the customer, marketing is the business. Peter Drucker. Okay, Peter Drucker is the one that said the purpose of business is to create and keep a customer. And all of the customer experience is what the customer feels about the company, what the customer feels about the business's service. They use the product, and if all they're doing is using the product, they're not thinking about who they got it from. But as soon as they have a mental idea of, I know which Find the Do, Pain in the Grass, dog droppings company I got this from. Every time I use it as a stress ball or thumb exercise, I remember Dorette, Find the Do, Pain in the Grass sanitation. So the 9-point marketing plan is a framework for thinking about how your business is presented to your niche audience writ large, and the portion of that audience that funnels down and becomes your customers in the micro case. So the macro to the micro. Macro is however big your niche is, and for many of you, your niche could be 1,000 people, and it would be big enough for you to create a wonderful life-supporting wage. Because if you can convert 5% of those, that will be totally sufficient for you and your family. You don't need all the realtors in the United States. You need the right 5 or 6. So the 9-point marketing plan isn't a marketing trick. It's not a hack. It's a framework for thinking about each of the phases of what you're trying to accomplish. One of the reasons that high level often feels overwhelming is it can do anything. It can, not literally anything, not literally everything, but for all practical purposes, it can do many things. But it doesn't tell you what of those things you should be doing, and it certainly doesn't tell you why to do it. The point of the 9-point marketing plan is so that you can decide who it is you're for, what you're doing for them, and then how to automate that solution. If you don't decide who you're helping, if you don't know what problem you're solving, automation only creates more noise. So the 9-point marketing plan is a framework for a mental model for the solopreneur. Bucket 1 is the strategy. Who is the target market? What is the message? Where do you find them? What is your no-brainer offer to them? And I thought, as Devin was listening here in here a moment ago, Devin describes a no-brainer offer as an offer that, to your target audience, they will feel dumb saying no to. If someone isn't in your target audience, when they hear the words that come out of your mouth, they should say, "That's only slightly more than mildly interesting," and they should wash it out of their head, because it doesn't solve a problem that they have. But if you present your offer to the right niche audience, they should immediately say, "That's the problem I have. That's the solution to my problem. Let's have a conversation." That's how you know when you've got a no-brainer offer. Points 4, 5, and 6. Lead capture, lead nurture, lead close. Or the lead magnet, the nurturing email sequence, the sales conversation. Lead capture can be cold emails. It can be a VSL video sales letter landing page. It can be a lead magnet. It can be conversations in DM in LinkedIn and Facebook groups. It's all of the ways that you're trying to attract attention, and with the audience that you're trying to attract attention from, getting that handful to say, let's have a deeper conversation. Lead nurture is where you take that deeper conversation through the know, like, and trust stages, progress of the relationship. When your lead capture messaging, when your script jumps straight to the buy now, you give the audience a binary choice. Opt in, opt out. You don't give and it's not learn more, opt in, it's put money on the table, opt in. And Donald Miller, Building the Story Brand, says, you don't ask somebody to marry you on a first date. If your entirety of your offer is, here's how you buy from me, then they don't have the option to say, let's have a conversation. They have to say, well, I'm not in the market right now, so I guess I'm done. Instead, give them opportunity to have a relational engagement with you. When you've gone through that process, then when you get to step 6, the sales process, when you've gone through that relationship building, and sometimes depending on the product and depending on the nature of the audience, sometimes this might be moments. This might be a couple minutes worth of a conversation. It might be a video that shows up in social media. Someone plays it. Someone says, that makes sense to me. Let's jump on a call. Let's go to a landing page or whatever, and they make a decision. And but it's still the 3 stages of the process. When you've earned permission to get to the sales step, then that changes the tone of the sales conversation. Instead of being a sale, it's now a solution. Instead of being a sale, a transaction, it's a stepping further into a trusting relationship. Conversations are more powerful than automations. The automations should reflect the flow of the human relationship, not circumvent or bypass the relationship. If you're not ready for conversations, you're probably not ready for business. You're going to encounter situations where you need to have a follow-up conversation and you're not ready for it. And then there is the fulfillment. Steps 7, 8, and 9. The delivery of the service is whatever delivery of the service is. Shipping the product is whatever shipping the product is. But there's a marketing strategy component to the fulfillment stage of the business relationship. There is the customer experience. Did they bought it? Did they use it? What was their experience using it? What was the unboxing, unraveling, onboarding? What was that process like? When you bought a car, was the radio demonstrated, or was the transmission demonstrated? Was or both? But did you drive off the lot not knowing how to run the air conditioner and heater, or did you go deeply enough to actually know how to use the navigation system and the maintenance monitoring systems? Then, did it actually do the thing? Did the customer get the value from the product that they expected? And did that value exceed in improvement in how their life experience, the dollar value that they gave in exchange for that. And that is how we measure a just transaction. If the customer received more in value than what they, from their perspective, they paid, then in cost, exchanging their hours measured in dollars for someone else's hours measured in dollars. And it's not an hour-to-hour equation. It's what is a valuable use of my time versus what is a valuable use of your time. Because the reason most of us provide a service is doing that thing is a valuable thing for us to do. And not doing some other thing is not valuable. For example, yes, I mow my lawn, but I would just soon not mow my own lawn. It's not a task that is inherently pleasurable or inherently valuable to me. For some other person, they love doing lawn care. That is a great business for them because they're providing a service in a field with a skill set that is something they like to do that other people find to be just a chore. And then point number 8 of the 9-point marketing plan is the lifetime value of the customer. The reason churn matters in the marketing industry is most of the customers are not getting in value as much as what they feel like. They don't feel like they're getting as much in value as their sense of what they're paying in friction, cost, time. They're getting the deliverable, but it's like pulling teeth to get the deliverable. Or they feel like they're paying $1,000 a month when they could be getting the same thing for $100 a month. Or not, but that's what they feel. How they feel matters. And so they churn. The real income-sustaining reality for a lawn care company is a route that is consistent and predictable, where they're doing the same neighborhoods in the same sequence week after week, month after month. And those yards are on a subscription. And the money's coming in consistently, and they can be very efficient in building their route to serve the customers in those neighborhoods. The marketing agency, web design agency, if they're doing social media agency, public relations, email campaign writing, all these businesses that run on laptops, if we're doing those businesses as a one-off project, we end up spending as much time doing client acquisition as we do doing fulfillment. Lifetime value of the customer says, yes, I might get someone to hire me for a relatively high-ticket project, but if I can get them on a retainer for even a smaller amount, but ongoing, that generates stable income to support my family. Or maybe I provide upfront a no-brainer offer, incredibly high value with a low tripwire price, knowing that I can put them on a subscription for a sustained product going on the long term. There's totally valid ways to look at it. And again, the point is to do the strategic thinking up front so you know which way you're approaching. And then referrals, testimonials, reviews. Or reviews, testimonials, referrals in the level of dollar value. Point 9 of the 9-point marketing plan is how the customer experience and lifetime value of this customer are leveraged to not have to find people in the target audience who will opt in based on shared trust from one of your existing clients. So if an existing client is saying this person has some valuable information, a valuable service to offer, that accelerates the process through steps 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So I made a couple of allusions to AI in the course of this. Here's the punchline, and then I'll make the point. AI doesn't fix a broken idea. If you have a broken idea, AI will allow you to fail faster and at scale. If you think my target market is anyone, my offer is this long list of services that I'm marginally good at in all of them and not really super good at any of them. If your channels are, I'm just going to blast on email every email address I can scrape off the internet. AI will let you write copy of a script that says, I can do anything, and automation will allow you to do an email blast to everybody on your list that you bought, and your conversion rates will be incredibly low. AI might help you create a landing page to be linked inside that email, but if none of the people actually, if the email ends up in spam, they never even see the link, let alone go to the page. And they go to the, even if they go to the page, if they're not the, if it's just broad brush everybody, again, they don't see that it's targeted to them. It doesn't solve their problem. When you list all of your services like that, whether it's in a DM, whether it's in a Facebook post, LinkedIn post, whether it's in an email, whether it's on the landing page, you're putting the burden on the reader, the listener, to try to decipher whether something in that list applies to them. When you say, all of these other things are supporting to what I do, but this is the problem I solve, and this is who has that problem. Now, when that person that has that problem hears you, they think of you as a specialist. Using AI well, when you frame your thought process for how I want to go to market, in terms of the 9-point marketing plan, you describe to your language model, to your chat GPT or Claude or Gemini or whoever it is you're talking to, this is who my audience is. This is what my offer is. What do you think? Or and I'm not literally giving you the prompt. I'm giving you the framework. Help me refine this, narrow down my niche so that I can find the right people who desperately need what I'm really super good at. And make GPT or Claude or Gemini or I'm drawing a blank on some of the other models. Make it ask you questions to get refined about what you're really good at, who you want to help. Ask it to help you understand in that target audience, what problems do they have? Go make sure you know how to solve that set of problems. Use AI to help you if you need to. Then come back to AI and say, okay, how do we frame an offer to that audience that will be a no-brainer offer to that audience, and will help other people opt out? Because save me the conversation with people who aren't in my niche. People who I should be referring my friends to. Hey, this person really needs a website that is X. I do websites that are Y. Why don't you go take care of that person that needs an X website instead of trying to take on every project yourself? You build rapport with your fellow industry professionals. You say, when it's something that's in your specialty, let me just refer it to you instead of me trying to fake my way through it. AI is phenomenal at helping you refine your thinking. It's terrible at deciding for you what you should be thinking about. It doesn't decide your strategy. I think I'm going to put the slide over here. It doesn't define your strategy. It helps you frame your strategy. You, as the human being, as the master, should be doing the thinking. Use AI to help you articulate your thinking. You make the decision. Allow AI to help you accelerate the process of converting the thought process and the framework into messages for the audience. Here's how GHL Business Launch fits in this discussion. We are providing frameworks. So the 9 business models. If you're a high-level agency, the point of the 9 business model framework is there are many different ways to be a high-level agency. So deciding what agency, what framework, what business model you want to be in helps you eliminate the need to figure out some other things. So in my case, I know I'm never going to be a business model 9 coder, app developer. There is no point in me going and learning the skills to code an app. And okay, I get it. People are vibe coding and they don't need to be a coder. It's still not, that is not an interesting field to me. There's no point in me learning how to do that skill when there's plenty of people who are really good at that. Similarly, on the other end of on the other corner of the 9 business models is the pure affiliate. Maybe I'm kind of shifting toward a pure affiliate model. The affiliate model is where you just talk about whatever it is you talk about. In my case, I actually talk about high level, which makes me think more of a value-added affiliate. But you're talking about whatever you're talking about, and then you offer people opportunities to sign up directly with high level. In my case, because I'm this business model 7 framework of GHL Business Launch, I'm also offering coaching, advising, mentoring, teaching. But that 9 business model framework allows you to frame your prompt to your AI, saying, differentiating between, I want to make a pure SaaS offer versus I want to make a SWAS offer. And if you're making a pure SaaS offer, your requests, your prompts to your AI are going to be different than if you're doing a software. So if it's pure software as a service, then your prompts to your AI are going to be different than when your prompts are than if you're software with a service, which is kind of blending over toward the agency side. Software with a service is a subscription model. Here's my software. It's white labeled, version of high level. It comes with whatever additional value you're adding, you're stacking with it. And your role is tech support to make sure it works, but they are the implementer. SWAS, software with a service, is a similar kind of package, but it also comes with some agency services to implementing marketing activities on their behalf. how you prompt your AI to frame your offer is different for those two models. When you prompt your AI correctly, based on giving it the thought process, the nine business models and the 9 points of the 9-point marketing plan, you frame the prompt to the AI. That responses it gives you are valuable assets, like this training that I'm giving you today, that have refined my way of thinking and describing my concept. The concept is clear in my head, but how do I articulate it? I use AI to help me frame the sequence of how to present this thought process, this thought today. The danger comes when you copy someone else's funnel without understanding the business, without understanding the purpose, without understanding the reason. You're just executing tasks, you're executing someone else's tasks, and they're disconnected from who you are as a person. AI makes it easier and faster to copy someone else's work, but it doesn't necessarily make your work smarter or more effective unless you apply your human experience, knowledge, skill, intuition to the problem. That's how we take AI and make it our servant, instead of regurgitating whatever AI produces. We prompt it, we give it a really simple question, and it gives us an answer, and we copy and paste that answer, and when we have no idea whether that answer is right, then how do we know that it's the right answer in that situation? So this funnel is the lesson. GHL Business Launch as a framework is a sales funnel. We have some paid offers on the backside that support our work. But what we're doing here is gathering attention, building awareness, building rapport, building an audience. Audience, that's the word I'm going to add to the slide. See, this is good that I'm talking, and then I'll add the slide later. I'm going to add the word audience to the slide. Here in our public messaging, we're attracting the audience. We know the target market is high-level users, but not agencies that are well-developed. Agencies that are either they've been around a while, but they've hit a ceiling, they're struggling, or they're new launch agencies, thus business launch, and they've been told by 7 or 8 gurus, do this, do that, do the other thing, and it's all conflicting advice. The business model, not the business model discovery, the OmniHub Challenge curriculum, the business launch curriculum, and the short course version of it, the OmniHub Challenge, are a distillation or a tailored version of Devin Tracy's Side Hustle Roadmap. They're a decision matrix for how you decide what business you are in. They're a decision matrix that helps you work through points 1, 2, 3 of the 9-point marketing plan. Those tools are offered in the structured learning environment of the Collab group, where you can start to apply the concepts that we're teaching here in the Facebook group. So here in the Facebook group, we're gathering attention. We're building interest and desire in the Collab group as we drill down and build the technical skills, technical foundations, and help you work through your decision matrix. The paid offers that are available within that structure are simply support mechanisms for people who want help to do these things faster. In the end, all of the most valuable things that we're offering for free. It is the most valuable lead magnet that we know how to create. It is, here's all of these things, and oh, by the way, to get you moving, to solve your ceiling that you're banging against, to help you sort through all the gurus that are giving you advice. And there's a handful of things that if you want to buy into our support system, you can get a little bit more support. The point of this discussion today is to help you think like a business owner in an AI-enabled world, instead of acting like a channel to relay AI content, AI-generated content. Or if you want to just keep guessing whether you're doing the right thing, and you just want to keep copying somebody else's scripts, or copying whatever AI throws at you, responds to you with from your prompt, you can keep scrolling. And the Facebook group is all about scrolling. So you can come and go, scroll through, go for it. When you're ready to start thinking like a business owner, the OmniHub Challenge, the Side Hustle Roadmap, the Business Launch Curriculum are how you do the work of self-analysis, look in a mirror, evaluate how do you want to present yourself to the world, what problem are you going to solve. So, thank you for listening. I'm Keith Bashirs. I'm the Bald Guy. As Bald Guy Marketing, I help small businesses with marketing theory, tactics, techniques, training, and technology. Here in GHL Business Launch, we're helping solopreneurs, freelancers, SaaS founders get clarity on how to move their business forward.